Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to Session Zero, a live improv D&D game for your entertainment on Twitch every Wednesday. We've got a lovely game for you tonight, a game inspired by a very popular TV show. Now, it wasn't my idea. I wanted to do a game inspired by The Boys, but apparently that would have been too violent to put on Twitch. So instead, we are going to run a live improv D&D game, and the players above, they have literally no idea what I'm intending to do with them. We are going to make a game based on Stranger Things, and I'm going to call the game Weirder Stuff. That is the name of the game. But before we get into the Weirder Stuff inspired game, let's just go around a quick introduction for anyone who is new. Welcome, I'm Josh Trophays. I'll be your DM in this improv game. Let's go through our players. Rage, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Rage, or Rage Darling. I play a barbarian character called Rage. She is particularly hot-headed, not filled with a lot of information up there, and is quite a scaredy cat, but is on a journey of self-development.
Brilliant. Callum, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
I am Callum. I am playing a character also called Callum, I've been informed. He is a bard. He's cursed to forever use this flute, and only this flute as an instrument, and sometimes as a weapon. Not to great success all the time, but...
You say not to great success. The flute has so far been used to smash a vampire's face in, which is why it's got a vampiric tooth attached to the end of it.
Yeah, that is true. I've also accidentally bashed a kid's head in with it.
Yes, yeah, the body count is getting quite high. And Billy, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Callum, you need to big yourself up more. You're pretty good, actually. Hi, my name's Billy. I'm going to be playing Sourceress Trixx. If I roll above a 3, it's an absolute miracle. And I'm just looking forward to having a really fun, weird stuff themed evening tonight.
So, the theme of this show, the general build of it, is episodic D&D. It doesn't matter if you weren't here last episode, and it doesn't matter if you're not here next episode. Think of it like Star Trek. You can catch every individual episode, and while there is an overarching plot, you can watch each one and enjoy it. So our adventurers have been wandering through the land, adventuring, if you will, and they have discovered a letter pinned to a board in the village of Eagle Out. The village of Eagle Out. Some of you will get the jokes that I make and the references. Some of you won't, but that's okay. And the note simply says, help. Help and volunteers needed at Eagle Out Research Center. Rage, what do you think about going to help with some scientific research?
It is way above my pay grade and my IQ level, but I'm up for an adventure.
Callum, how do you think about being a scientific volunteer to help with science?
You know, I always loved science in school for the short amount of time I was allowed to stay there. So I'm down for this.
Excellent. You're ready to be a scientist.
I
And
am.
Billy, what do you think? You think you can be a scientist?
Oh, absolutely. Like, magic, science, honestly, what's the difference? I'm excited to explore.
Yeah, magic is just science that we don't understand yet. So you're in the village of Eagles Out, and you've decided to walk through, and you can see the huge research centre in front of you. Now, you've heard that some weirder stuff happens in this research centre, and while you are admiring this building, glorious white stone building from the outside, you see, standing over by a thatched hut, a policeman, a sheriff, if you will. And he's got a lovely big kind of brimmed hat on. He's got a sword by his side, with a leather duster going on. And he simply looks up at you, and he kind of scowls, staring at you, acknowledging you. Rage, how do you react to the authority of the lawman watching you? Is that the exact noise you want to make? Okay, roll a d20, see how well that goes.
16.
16.
Ooh.
It's actually quite an intimidating warble. He thinks you are maybe an angry cat, possibly a very annoyed bird, but he is aware of you. Callum, do you have a great respect for the law in this fictional land?
See, I do, but I always feel the best way to introduce yourself is to not act sus, not not look scared, so I just go up and I go, hello!
Okay. And he looks up at you and goes, hello there. Can I help you?
We've just seen a sign that says you need help with some science stuff in the village.
Oh, you're one of those adventurer types, aren't you? We have them come through here all the time. I'm Sheriff Jumper. He extends his hand to shake yours.
I reach out and give it a good old shake.
It's a proper firm handshake and you're now bestest friends forever.
Good.
I'll warn you, there's some weirder stuff going on in that building over there.
What like?
Oh, weird stuff. We've had groups of adventurers come through following the request for adventurers. Oh, I've seen some interesting types go in there, but I've never seen them come out.
Did they get lost?
I don't know what happens when they're in there. I've seen a woman go in there who looked angry in a big mech suit. I saw a man with no eyes walk in there. I've seen another woman wearing a white tank top looking very angry. I saw 9 people go in, 4 of whom were short. Like one of them was tall with a white beard, another one was an elf. And then I saw a man and a woman walk in, both of them wearing long black trench coats.
They do sound like strange people.
There's some weirder stuff going on in there. If you go in there, be prepared for weird stuff.
Right, well, that was helpful, I guess.
Do you say that to him? Is that
Yeah,
that
I
you
do.
straight away? Well, that was thanks. Roll a d20,
Yeah.
see how well he takes this.
Okay. 14.
He's annoyed that you're a little bit sarcastic, but he understands that you've had a long journey and maybe you need the money. So he simply says,
do.
look, if you ever need my help, you only need to yell, Sheriff Jumper, I need your help, loud enough for me to hear you, and if I hear you yell that, I'll come and help you.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yes.
Pretty standard.
Well, the entrance is over there, and he points you to a big sign that says entrance.
Gonna start walking off in towards the entrance.
Billy, you walk toward it. Rage, how are you feeling about this? Sheriff Jumper seems like a nice guy.
I'm apprehensive. I don't like science.
What is it that you have against science? Did science hurt your family when you were younger?
It's too intelligent.
There's too much intelligence going on in science.
Yes.
Okay.
If I can't bonk it with my hammer, then it's scary.
If it can't be bonked, you're scared of it. Gotcha.
Yes.
Callum, how do you feel this first conversation went with Sheriff Jumper?
Utterly useless, to be honest, but I've got high hopes for this.
Excellent. And Billy, do you trust the sheriff?
Yeah, he seems nice.
He was a good guy, wasn't he? He was a nice guy,
think
big
so.
sheriff hat, big
He offered
sheriff
help.
coat. Yeah. You walk in and follow the main entrance. You walk up and there's a big door in front of you. Little bit ajar. You push in and walk inside. And there's quite a lot of people milling around. Some in white sciencey lab coats. Others in basic leather armour. Guards with spears and shields standing by your side. And as you walk in, a short scientist with frizzy, curly grey hair runs up to you and goes, "Oh, please tell me you're here to volunteer. Oh, we are running very low on volunteers. My goodness."
Yep, with three volunteers.
Fantastic.
3.
Are you all going in together as a group? It would be much more beneficial if you did.
We
Yeah.
only count as one.
Fantastic. Right, follow me. He leads you through the science centre. And as you walk through, there's lots of other groups of adventurers around you. Some groups of 1, groups of 2, groups of 3, some groups of 10. But you can tell that these are all adventurers. Some of them even have the Adventurers Guild markings on their armour, or are holding bits of paper that show their allegiance to various clans. So clearly they're not hurting for volunteers. Rage, how are you feeling with this?
Do we recognize any of these adventuring band
Ooh.
folk from maybe previous trials and
Roll a
tribulations?
D20.
Go on.
It's an A.
You have seen a few of their faces around in villages before, but no one famous, no one powerful, no one incredibly tough. Just
Is there-
average, standard adventurers, to be honest.
Is there a really, like, small timid man.
The smallest, timidest man is probably the scientist who's leading you through this building.
Oh.
Why?
No reason.
No, you've started this train of thought. Let's finish it.
I just wanted to ask them a few questions, but they're a scientist and they probably can't. They can't answer it.
I mean, you could ask the scientist the questions if you wanted to.
I could, but I know he wouldn't know the answers, so
Okay,
why would I
that's
waste my
fair.
time?
I'll tell you if a small man walks past you.
Thank you.
Callum, you are looking around at these groups of adventurers as you walk through. You don't know what you're volunteering for yet. What do you think?
Yeah. I just want to know what the hell's going on in here. Like, to have this many people that are, capable adventurers, apparently. Like, what do they need all of these for? Why do they need us?
And Billy, what are you thinking about this weirder stuff?
I'm trying to think of how we're actually going to be helping with the science. Like, are we going to be doing the science, or are we the guinea pigs?
Is that what you're going to say to the scientist, or are you just thinking this?
I'll say it to the scientist.
He turns around and goes, oh my goodness, it's a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough in technology, in travelling, in magic, in science, in discovery. It is new worlds, new civilizations. It's a new frontier. It's a new world. But it's very dangerous, and we need people to go into it. You'll
So
see.
it's basically Billy's portals.
You'll see. He continues leading you through until eventually you are led quite far away from the other band of adventurers and you're walking past numbered doors on the side. He turns around and goes, excellent. Right. Do you have anything made of diamond, crystal or ruby? Because the only proof we have is that those things don't survive coming back.
No. I don't think we've got much of anything
Are you
at this
okay?
point.
The scientist looks at you, Rage, as you've just stood in front of him going,
Yes? Why wouldn't I be okay?
just checking. You were one with the flute. Diamond, ruby,
Yeah.
emerald, precious gems.
I wish.
I
No.
see. And you, magical lady.
So, say it again. What happens if they don't come back?
No,
If we come
well,
back?
they do come back, but they're kind of inverted, inside out. It's a very complicated thing.
Inside out?
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh, we're
Or-
going to be... let me show you.
Okay.
In the distance, you hear a bell ring. And then a group of scientists rushing down the hall with a cloak over another small group of adventurers, hiding you from view. And as they hurry them past you, you can see blood dripping from under the cloak as they go. Maybe a little bit of entrail dragging along
I grab
the
the
floor.
cloak.
Roll a d20.
20!
What do you expect to happen?
I wanna stand on the cloak as they walk past to kind of like rip the cloak off from under my foot. Because I have strong feet.
I
From
can
down the
confirm.
hall, you see a group of scientists attempting to hurry what appears to be a band of adventurers under a big cloak down and away. You can tell they are hurt. You can tell there is blood. And so you simply wait until they pass you and then put your step forward, put your foot on this cloak, and it rips the cloak off as they continue running back past you. And then you realise that it's not a group of adventurers. It's an adventurer made of a group.
That's us.
Wait, is it three
Not
people
quite.
stood on top of each other
No,
with
no.
a jacket on?
Trench coat.
Imagine a small huddle of people with their arms around each other. But then imagine the flesh melded together. Not
that's
sewn,
That's gross.
not cut open, not spliced, just combined into one mass. A face resting on another shoulder that has been melded into it, blended together, grafted into one. And as you pull this off, you realise the cut is blood dripping from various mouths, eyes, ears,
Oh, no.
any orifice, running down the skin, over the various meshes of armour of leather and bone and metal, and onto the floor. The scientists look at you in horror, and then hurry to try and put the cover back over the top.
Well, I hope that's not gonna be us.
Rage, what are you thinking?
Well, I hope that's not going to be us.
Do you say that twice? Do you say it once to the scientist, once to your scientist, once to the team?
Once to the rest of the people.
Just repeat the same line so everyone's heard it. Callum, what are you thinking?
Pretty much the same, to be honest. It doesn't look good.
Billy?
We know about the rubies, though. And
Billy-
the rubies get turned inside out. But what are they made of that made him do that?
What are you thinking of this, Billy?
That's really gross. Did they eat something funny? I don't know
The
how
little
that
scientist
would work.
man, horrified, turns at you and goes, "It is very unlikely that will happen to you, provided you follow all the instructions we give you.
What instructions?
Don't do whatever it is they did.
What did
What
they
did they do?
We don't know. That's why we're sending so many people in. We need information, and we're going to try and get it from them, that, it, what they were, what they are now." The other scientists cover this huge monstrosity and run it off down the corridor. The scientist hears the bell ring from down, looks at you and goes, "Right, I believe you're next."
Oh, no. Can we wait until they get back and then you
So
find
they've been
out what we
interviewed,
can't
yeah.
do?
"Oh no, there's
Before
too
we go
much
in?
weirder stuff going on. We need to push through. We don't know how much time we've got until the flippity flop closes."
What's the flippity flop?
It's one of the many names we've come up for what we've discovered. Follow me. The scientist leads you down the corridor into a larger room. You walk inside. Big, heavy wooden double doors swing. The room has been coated in white cotton sheets hanging around the edge. It's quite a deep room, and at the end, a simple white wall with a crack down the middle of it. Plaster falling off. Magical energy pulsing out. Tendrils, tentacles, just gently probing from around. The actual wall itself pulsating, open and closed. The scientist turns to you. "Allow me to present the Insy Outsy."
Wait, how did you make this? Was
Oh,
it portals?
For many years, we have been collecting psychic people and asking them really, really, really nicely, concentrate really hard on the void. A world connected to our own, but not our own. An inverted, horrific mirror world. And eventually one of them focused so hard that this happened.
Where are they now?
What, the person that opened this,
Yeah.
they're in the other room. They have to focus really hard on keeping this open. We've gone
I
through
see.
so many volunteers. Oh my god, we've just ended up numbering them, to be honest. So many people have tried.
I've stayed in some dirty holes, and that is the dirtiest. I don't want to go through there.
Oh, that's a good name. I'm going to write that down. We haven't quite decided, but the dirty hole is definitely a potential
I mean,
name.
it's gross.
Excellent.
It's wet.
We've got a
It's
couple.
moist.
So look, we have sent things through. We have tied stones to rope, thrown them in, and then pulled them back out. And when we tied a stone into a rope and we threw it in and we pulled it back out, it came back as a diamond. But then it fell apart. And then we tied a diamond to a rope and we threw it in and we pulled it back and it came back as a stone. And then it fell apart, which is where we're getting the idea of, flippy flop things. So we could call it the flippity flop. I'm taking feedback. Any opinions?
Oh, no, yeah, that sounds great.
Excellent.
It's pretty good.
Good.
It's
We-
not
we-
nailing it, but it's pretty good.
Okay. We've also got the back to fronty.
Ooh.
Less appealing.
Okay. We've got the oopsie daisy.
I like that one.
And because this connects to the void, we've also considered the voidusy.
I like that one.
Yes.
The void dusty.
Excellent. Right.
Yes.
We need you, as brave adventurers, to journey into the voidusy and explore. Ideally, discover the other adventurers we've sent in, and then come back and report on it. Don't, no matter what you do, interact with any thing you find in there that belongs there, because we think it would be evil.
So are we getting paid for this?
Yeah.
I mean, the word volunteer suggests no.
You'll
but
get paid when you return.
that's the catch, right?
Ah, okay.
How much are we getting paid when we return?
Oh, yeah,
Depends how much information you come back with.
How much is each piece of information worth to
If you come back and tell us exactly what it's like on the other side of the flippity flop, the Voidassi, we will pay you 50 gold coins for every usable piece of information.
Oh.
Hey,
you put
let's
yourself a
go!
If you wish, before we send you in,
I'm gone.
you can... Because you just already run it. So the scientist there going, if you wish, we can give you training. And like, he looks and you're not even there. You just sprinted and just dived through this weird portal.
Bonk first.
Okay, Rage, roll a d20, see how well your dive into the portal goes.
Face plant the wall.
17.
17. You have just run and you have just jumped into the moist Voidassi and you just disappear with a squelching sound straight inside.
Yummy.
Cal, you just watched her. How do you feel with that?
I'm not surprised, to be honest, but I am wanting to wait for the information.
The scientist turns and looks at you. Well, I guess you've all got to stick together, so good luck. We will see you soon. The scientist leaves, closes the door behind him, and then you hear what sounds like a big heavy piece of wood being shifted across the door, kind of locking you all in.
Great.
Billy, how
Love
do you
it.
feel about this?
I want to just start floating 2 inches off the ground and move in, so I don't touch any of the things.
Oh, I mean, it's quite a tight Voidassi. You're going to have to kind of push your way in. And...
Well, I would like to do that floatingly.
Okay. Roll a d20.
Are we able to, veto on this name change?
Nope. Nope, you are going into
that's
the...
a 10.
You're
How
going into the
looped up am I
flippity-flop.
to go through the flippity flop?
Okay. What did you roll, Billy?
10.
You rolled a 10. You are able to enter the flippity flop through the Voidassi in a perfectly beautiful straight way. You know, you just push in. There's tentacles. It's a little bit slimy. You're not sure you like it quite a lot. But there's fog, there's mist, stings your eyes a bit. But when you kind of pop out the other side, you look around and you realise you're in an exact copy of this room. Except instead of cotton on the walls, they're made of pure marble. Callum, are you ready to go in?
It's probably safer in there than alone in this room, so I just dive in.
You dive in. Roll a d20.
20.
20.
Nice.
The penetration of the Voidassi is perfect. You are able to go straight down the centre. You are able... They don't even feel it. You just roll in straight through.
not sure that's a good
Forward roll
thing.
when you land on the other side. Even a
That's
little flute
standard.
blast when you do land. A little kind of heralding song. Your arrival has been heralded. And you simply stand up and look. In fact, that was so good. You now have advantage for one roll in the rest of the session, which means you can roll two
Yes.
d20s
Nice.
and choose the highest one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You look around. In fact, you turn to look behind you and you realise that this psychic tear in time is actually starting to gently knit and meld back together.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
The room you were in previously had white cotton sheets hanging on the walls and a heavy wooden bolted door. The room you're in now is almost an exact copy, except the walls are pure white gleaming marble and the door seems to be intricate gilded silver. Rage, what are you feeling?
I mean, I'm kind of distracted by the absolute performance that Cal just put on. But
It was like a diver going into water.
was
Almost nothing happened.
magnificent.
There was no rippling. There was not even a squelching sound. It was literally just straight through, like an arrow into jelly.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so good.
Rage,
you
you're
okay?
actually
You
crying
seem a
at
bit
how
emotional.
beautiful that intro
Oh,
was.
Cal, can I just say,
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Thank you. My performance in the Voidussy normally does leave
Yeah.
women in tears.
You know, we are like clapping properly as he comes through.
Thank
Cal
you,
didn't
thank
know you
you.
were clapping and just assumed that was a wet slapping sound as he was falling through. Billy, how are you feeling in this room that looks pretty damn ornate?
I'm thinking, what if this place behind us is closing up? Where are we supposed to go to get out? So we need to like continue down the passage to
Do you
explore
wish
further.
to attempt to open the big silver doors?
Yes, please.
Roll a d20.
2.
You walk up to the huge ornate silver doors with their intricately carved silver handles. You grab one and then just pull it straight off the door and realise you're now just holding an intricate bit of door in your hand. Looking around a bit more, you realise that that wasn't the handle. The handle was a little bit below that. You've just grabbed a little bit of decorative flourish and decided to start vandalising the place.
Just gonna throw it away and hope nobody notices that I did that.
Roll a d20.
2.
Rip.
You throw the silver behind you. It gets caught in the centre of the Voidussy and then slowly
Oh, no.
sucked into it. You hear a kind of pinging sound out the other end. You may discover that later.
Oh no.
After destroying the door, you hear footsteps on the other side. You then hear people whispering, "Keep your guard up, keep your guard up, keep your guard up, there's more of them, there's more of them, there's more of them." And then the silver doors burst open. Behind it, 2 beautiful, pristine guards, long flowing blonde hair, sparkling silver armour. Oaken spear shafts with perfect spear tips on the end, levelling them and pointing them towards you. They simply shout, "Go back to where you came from." But you can't. The tear in time behind you is starting to close up too much. Rage, what are you thinking?
Hey, lads, calm down. We're here to help.
Is that what you want to say?
Yes.
Oh, well, the other one's here to help when they slaughtered our brethren.
Well, hey, we're not here to slaughter anybody. I mean,
We're scientists.
yeah.
Cal, are you just laughing at them? You,
Yeah.
man with flute, why do you
Yes.
giggle at us so?
I mean, she can't even open up a portal of her own, let alone, come through this one and solve something.
I open up a portal beneath his feet.
No more talk. You're going to open up a portal beneath the dude's feet.
Yeah.
Where's this portal going to go to?
Just like 10 feet away.
Wait, Cal's feet?
No, the
Guards'
other
feet.
the guards'
Oh.
The
feet.
2 guards that are standing just in the entrance of the silver doors that have opened, pointing spears at you, you want to attempt to open up a portal under his feet.
Yeah.
Going to where? You can't see too far
Like
down the corridor.
behind us, like just not very far behind us, basically, so that we're in front of them, so we can carry on.
Oh, just behind, just into the room that you're in, effectively.
Yeah.
Roll a d20.
14.
You're able to open up part of a portal. And you're able to open up part of a portal on the wall behind you. The problem is it's not quite full enough to take their whole body through. So what ends up happening is one of the guards who's pointing his spear at you falls down as one of his legs falls into a hole. If you look behind you, you see the same leg sticking out of the wall. He's not trapped. He's just got, effectively, he's fallen into a hole. The other guy looks at him and then lunges at you with a spear, realising what you're trying to do. Billy, roll a d20.
Oh no. 17, and I'm
This-
just going to try and backwards.
You're going to jump backwards.
Yeah.
You do. You jump backwards successfully. You've avoided the first spear thrust. Rage, you've realised that Billy's under attack. What are you going to do?
I grabbed the guy's weapon.
Roll a d20.
Save me.
13.
13. You've just managed to grab round the wooden shaft of the spear. What do you then do?
I'll pull the shaft
Callum, stop
towards
laughing.
me.
I can see your face when I said the word shaft. Sorry, Rage, what were you doing?
I'm pulling his shaft towards me. The shaft of the weapon. I'm pulling the hecking spear off him, like snatching it. Shut up, Cal.
You don't
Mind
need to
the
keep
tip.
doing that hand movement. It's okay, Rage. You want to pull the spear towards you.
Yeah, like
Roll a
yeah.
d20.
Oh, that is a 13 again.
That's a 13. You manage to yank this guy off balance a little bit, but he's still got hold of his spear. Callum, you've seen this happen. What are you doing?
I'm going to Mario jump over the guy who's stuck in a hole and try and kick this guy into the other guy's foot.
So
What?
So one of the guards has fallen through a portal with one of his leg, which means his leg is sticking out the wall.
From behind us,
You want to try and push the guard that's standing up into the other guy's foot. So effectively, the guard that has fallen through the portal kicks the other guard, kicks his mate in the face.
You've got it, the whole stop kicking yourself kind of thing, yeah?
Roll a d20.
9.
Oh.
You're able to run behind, grab the guy that's still using the spear, and shove him. It's not very effective. You've effectively clotheslined someone with the other guy's leg. It's not a full kick, it's just more of a... He's just bumped into a shin that's sticking out of the wall. The guard that's fallen into the portal is scrambling to get out and manages to put his hands on the side, pull his leg out, stand up, level his spear. And both of them recon together and the spear tips are together. They will attack as a unit and are now much more effective because they know how to fight together. Rage, what are you doing?
Oh my goodness. Hey, stop. Friends? We got off on the wrong foot.
Both of them stab the spears towards you. Roll a d20 to see how well you can avoid this. They don't like you.
I got an 8.
You got an 8. You're able to avoid one of the spears, but the other one sinks about 3 inches into your upper shoulder, and you feel a shock of pain go through your arm. As it pulls out, the blade is so sharp, the wound is not healing back together, and a thin trickle of blood just constantly comes out. Your arm is now in a hell of a lot of pain. These blades are razor sharp. How are you responding?
Ow!
That's your response. Excellent. Callum, you could have punched them or hit them, but you chose to go, ow.
No. Ow!
And they now know they've hurt you.
Right.
I think... Rage, I don't think they're that bothered that they've hurt you. If anything, I think they'd take that as a win.
Yeah, but I don't want to hurt anybody.
Callum, you've seen these two people who clearly don't want you here attacking Rage. They've stabbed Rage. What are you doing?
Being as I'm still behind them, I'm going to try and smash their heads together.
Roll a d20.
19.
Woo!
You manage to run up, place your hands behind them, and crack their heads together. They are wearing lovely shiny silver helmets, and they make a beautiful ding sound as you hit them together, and they are momentarily confused. Not hurt, but disoriented for a second. Billy, how are you going to take advantage of this?
I want to turn their spears into 2 fish.
You want to transmorph their spears into fish.
Yeah.
Roll a d20.
That's a 20!
Oh, let's
Nice.
go.
What type of fish?
Like a big tuna.
Okay. Not like a really small tuna.
No, like a
Could've
big
gone with a
tuna. Like
swordfish.
it's heavy.
It could have been a
How
swordfish.
big's a
Had they
tuna?
had Billy have rolled a 1, it would have been an even sharper swordfish. But Billy, you focus. They are holding spears. They look at you. They look down. Their hands feel slimy and wet. And they realise they're
The
holding...
fish are alive.
Yeah, large, flippity-floppity fish. The tunas begin to wriggle, and tunas are very, very strong and quite big, and the guards, shocked, drop the fish and begin to wipe the horrible goo on their hands off on their trousers. They are disgusted that they, perfect, beautiful creatures, have touched something as horrible as a fish. Rage, how are you going to take advantage of their distraction?
I'm going to take my big bonk. Oh wait, I don't have it on one shoulder. Yeah,
You
I'm
can hit
still
with
gonna grab
one
my
hand,
bonk.
but you're going to have to roll with disadvantage, which means
Oh,
roll
heck.
2 d20s and choose the lowest.
Yeah, okay, I'll still do it. So I grab my bonk, and I'm aiming for their ankles because everyone has really weak ankles, and I want to swipe.
Roll
on
a
swipe their
d20.
feet. All right, the first one is a 14.
And another one.
The second one is. Oh, that's a 19.
It's a 14.
Yeah.
Your arm is hurt, which means your hammer, which is heavy, is only usable with one hand. You reach back, grab the shaft of the hammer and swing it hard at their ankles. They see this and step back. Unfortunately, the fish cannot step back. And what you end up doing is sweeping up the full body of a wriggling tuna with the head of your hammer and flinging it through the air at incredible speed straight into their face. Almost like a golf club with a tuna ball. You've slapped the fish off the floor, bang into the guard's face, knocking him back, the scales cutting into his perfect flesh. Callum, you've seen this. What do you do?
Nice.
Ooh, I'm going to double down on that leg sweep, and I'm going to try and just slide and leg sweep both of them.
Roll a d20.
17.
You run forward. Describe the slide to me, Callum.
It's kind of like a Guitar Hero slide, right? I go in with momentum, and as I'm doing the slide, I just do a quick leg sweep at the end.
Gotcha. We're sliding down, you just kick. One of the guards, distracted by the fact there's two tuna flopping around now, doesn't see you. You kick, and you take him straight out. He falls down. His head goes to hit the floor, but instead falls into the portal. A small open portal where his leg previously was. His head, the momentum carries it straight through until his head is entirely in the portal. Billy.
Close that portal.
You have this one chance. You going to do it?
Yeah, go on then. I'll close the portal.
Roll a d20.
8.
Ooh.
You close the portal. Unfortunately, you don't close it all the way. This guard has fallen. His head has fallen into a small circular hole on the floor, and as it does, it pops out of the wall, two connected areas. The portal closes, if not for a tiny, roughly windpiped size gap. And then you hear a scream. You realise the wall, the floor, has closed around his neck. The blood, the flesh, the nerves stopped, but the spinal column intact. His head, over in the wall, is looking at his own body with its head through the floor and a fish flopping around next to it. His friend, his face ripped open with scales. Rage, what are you thinking? He can't scream, he can't breathe, but he's not dead.
Ew. I want to put him out of his misery. And like Tiger Woods, I'm gonna take my club and I'm gonna hit him.
The head off the wall.
Yeah.
Or the body off the floor.
I'm gonna hit the head like a big golf ball.
The head is currently sticking out of the wall, so roll the d20.
Oh. Okay. Oh no, wait, I changed my mind.
Roll the d20.
Oh, okay. 11.
You pull your hammer out, you spin, you smack, you hear a lovely crack and a snap as the head spins off the neck and directly into the chest of the other guard, winding him. It was not his day. He didn't expect to be attacked by 3 people from the Voidussi that had suddenly ripped itself open in their marble chamber. He didn't expect to have his spear turned into a fish. He didn't expect to have his face cut open with scales from said fish flung at him by a hammer on the floor. He didn't expect to see his friend beheaded by having his head shoved through a portal, the portal closed, and a hammer then smack his head off. And he didn't expect to be winded by his best friend's head smacking him in the stomach. But he is now winded and unable to defend himself. Callum, how do you do it?
I am going to play an inspiring song to levitate the other guard.
His
and
dead
hopefully...
body.
No, the alive one.
The alive guard, I see.
Yeah. I'm gonna go full force with this crowd control. I'm gonna try and levitate him with a little tune, and hopefully give the others an opportunity to do something about him.
Play the tune.
Okay, here we go. Let's bang out an Eye of the Tiger.
Other guards down the hall believe they just heard some kind of alarm or animal dying or cry, and so have begun. You can hear footsteps. The guy begins to float slightly into the air in an almost painful way. It's like magical tendrils are dragging him up by his hair. This is not pleasant. Billy, what do you do?
Can I make us all invisible?
You can try.
Please don't. Please don't.
Roll a d20, Billy.
Please don't.
I mean, he's watching us. Like, he's going to
What could go wrong with another 2?
Billy decides to use her magical talent to make everyone invisible. Now, remember, Billy is a sorceress, which means she can attempt to wield magical energy in pretty much any way, but the power of it varies. So, Billy, roll a d20.
8.
You manage to make most of you invisible, except your head, arms and legs. Which means you have managed now to slowly... It's not even invisible, it's kind of like translucent. So you've got effectively slightly see-through torsos. That's pretty much it.
I mean...
You can still see your arms and your legs and your head. But the torso has got a little bit of transparency to it. That's what's going on.
Billy!
Do you believe this was effective?
There was an attempt, okay? Calm down.
Where's my chest?
It's right there.
Effectively, what's happened is the guard has seen his friend beheaded, been winded, been lifted up by some magical energy, and then seen you, Billy, just go, watch this, and just slowly fade to transparency, but not fully invisible. The guard doesn't quite know what to do. He can't scream, he can't fight back, he simply begs silently for you to go back the way you came. Rage, you know that more guards are going to appear. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm still kind of fixated on the fact that Billy's turned all of our chests invisible. So,
Are you just going to stare at the fact that you're slightly see-through now?
I'm screaming. Like, I hate science. Magic scares me. What is this? Billy! Baby, go back!
Callum, while Rage is having an existential crisis at magic and science, what are you doing?
I am just going to give him the good old 1-2, just stab him straight through the throat with the flute and hope that puts an end to it.
Roll a d20.
Oh my goodness.
8.
You don't so much stab him as just hit him repeatedly in the face with a flute.
God.
None of the hits powerful enough to knock him out. All of them powerful enough to be quite painful and just irritate. Like, this is not going to lead to death, but it is definitely leading to annoyance. If you keep going, there'll be a bruise there. You might break the skin. This feels like the most ineffective torture. You have just walked up and started slapping someone with a flute repeatedly.
Waterboarding him with a flute, yeah.
Billy, while you're watching Callum and his transparent body just slapping this floating guard around with a flute repeatedly, what are you doing?
After trying to calm Rage down a bit, I'm just like going to start because she's probably still screaming. I'm just like got my hand over her mouth. She's bigger than me, but I'm just going to like try and like just drag her away basically, and just like Callum will follow. You know, he's not going to get left behind.
You want to drag them further into this facility you're now in, or back through the Voidasi?
Further in.
Further in. Rage, are you allowing yourself to be dragged further in?
Yeah.
Once you have gone a few steps into this corridor, you've gone through the silver doors, the 2 guards were there, the corridor carries on a bit until there's 2 more silver doors. You recognise them as similar to the entrance of the place you were in before. Callum, are you just still standing with this floating guard just slapping him repeatedly around the face, or do you wish to join the other 2?
So I go through the door and I just shut it.
Shut the door behind you.
Yeah.
You are both outside. You are all outside. And you turn and look. And it's beautiful.
Ooh.
The buildings made of intricate, twisted silver and marble with silken furnishings. Lovely, purple, velvet furniture all around the place. The trees trimmed to perfection. Every leaf a perfect picture painting. The sky a gorgeous blue with a few wispy clouds. People walking around, all of them beautiful, all of them tall, all of them happy. And they turn and they see you. They see you slightly transparent. They see you with a bloodied flute. They see you looking ugly to them. And as you look around, you begin to recognize people. People that you've been told about. An angry-looking woman sitting down, looking content and happy. A man with no eyes, looking up and simply nodding, as if he understands your choice. A group of 9, with 4 small ones, an old man with a long beard, and an elf with a bow, again start to nod at you as if they understand your choice. But then more guards come. More guards clad in silver and spears walking towards you in a huge semicircle, pushing you back, driving you, wanting you to go back into the room. Rage, what do you feel of this perfect world?
I don't like it. It's too perfect. It's too clean. It's too pristine. I miss my slugs.
Callum, what are you feeling of this perfect world?
I'm just really confused. Like, have they chosen to stay here? Are they forced to stay here?
And Billy, what do you think?
Are these the same people? Who are the people that live here?
You aren't sure who
And
lives
these
here,
guards gonna kill us.
but you can tell who came from your world effectively, because they are dirtier, they are dustier, they are crustier, if you will. They are more torn and beaten down. They are less perfect. And as you are admiring this incredible landscape, a semicircle of guards has formed in front, all their spears lowered, all of them advancing on you. 20, 30, maybe even 40. Walking toward you, trained, holding the spears, pushing them. And you can hear from behind you, through the silver doors that left you out the building, through the silver doors that led to the room, you can hear the pulsating of the Voidussi, growing louder. Rage, you may not have much time to return to your own world, but you think you've gathered enough information.
Have I? I look to Trixx, who still has her hand over my mouth.
Are you going to be quiet now? This is not the time for screaming. Okay, I take my hand away.
What do we do? What do we do?
Callum?
Callum, what do you think? You know there's no way you can fight this
You're
many
the
guns.
smart
Yeah.
one.
I mean, we couldn't handle 2 of them, so we're gonna have to give it legs and get out of here. But
Parlay!
Agreed.
yeah, I mean, do we try and make a deal or do we just run?
I feel like...
Could gather information with a deal.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Who would you
You
like
talk.
to talk to, Cal?
I'd like
This
to talk to the
semicircle
main
of
guy.
guards is approaching on you. There is no break through them. Your choice are run into them and definitely die, or attempt to run back to the room you were in, the lovely marble and silver, and jump back through the portal.
If those are the only choices, I say we run.
You can attempt to talk to them if you want to.
I want to talk to the blind guy. I want to ask him why he's still here.
I can't leave. She won't let you leave.
Who's she?
Is she?
She was the ship that I was on before I arrived here.
Like a physical ship or like a metaphorical ship?
A futuristic ship.
Okay.
When are you from?
Many, many, many years from now.
When is this now?
This is perfect. This now is perfect. He seems too
Well,
happy
that's
with
creepy.
himself.
Well, that's all I needed to know.
Rage, how are you feeling?
So confused. This is way above whatever I can comprehend. Yeah.
Are you just looking around and seeing all the beautiful stuff? It's all it's too lovely. It's too pristine.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. I want to go over and touch something.
There is a semicircle of guards in front of you with spears pointed towards you, blocking you from pretty much anything. You can touch the grass if you want to.
I want to touch the grass.
Roll a d20.
She hasn't touched grass
Real
in a
game
while.
19.
19. You touch grass really well. It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's almost as if it's been curated. Every single blade, perfect, soft, next to the other. Almost as if it's completely, unbelievably perfect. But
All right.
you, for some reason, realise that this is how it's meant to be. This is exactly what it was meant to look like. This is the most real grass you've ever touched.
I pick a blade of grass up. I pick it up from the grass. And
You eat the grass.
yes.
Oh no.
It tastes like grass, but sweeter. It tastes healthy. It tastes green.
Nice.
You could live off this if you wanted to.
I take more.
You take a handful of grass, and as you do, you realise that all the guards hate the fact that you're doing this, and so close in a little bit closer. The tips of the spears getting even closer. Callum, what are
Take
you going to
more
do?
grass.
I'm going to run back to the room.
Callum, while Rage is just grabbing handfuls of flora and fauna, you are just ripping up the grass. And are you eating it again? Like an angry rabbit, just shoving grass into your face, just munching through it. Cal, you turn around and you run back, opening the silver doors, down the corridor, opening the second set of silver doors, and back into the marble and silver room, and you see the pulsating Voidussi in front of you. The tendrils sneaking around, but from this side you can see rope, frayed, ragged edges. You can see bone, you can see brick, and you can see a black void in the centre. Do you wish to dive through?
Is there anything in the room that I can grab to take to for experimental reasons?
The only thing you can see is the silver armour of the guards that were in there, and the other guard that is still hanging there in the air, just slowly rotating.
Oh, okay.
Like a kebab.
I take the helmet off the beheaded guard.
Yes.
I just give a nice little wave to the other one, and
You've got to
dive
kind of
through.
grab the neck and grab the helmet and
Oh,
pull
yeah.
the head out from inside.
I might just take it with me.
Just take the whole thing with you.
Yeah, it's research, right?
Yeah, just pick the whole helmet up with the
Yeah.
head in, just hold it under
Yeah.
your arm, and are you going to jump back through?
Yeah, give the other guard a little wave, and I just dive in.
He tries to wave, but unfortunately, as he brings his hand up, he just carries on rotating around. Like, as Billy said, an angry kebab. Billy, you have watched Rage Darling just absolutely go mad at eating the grass, and you've watched Callum run back,
you
pick
doing?
up some poor dude's head, wave at his best friend, and then
What are you
run
doing?
back through the void. What are you doing?
I want to try and conjure like the scariest creature I can imagine in my head, like some giant octopus kraken thing, because I've
What?
got ships in my head.
To scare these guys.
Yes.
Roll a d20.
That is a 1.
A 1.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You decide what you need to do, because you're planning on leaving and running away, aren't you? You're planning on leaving
Yes.
back through, but you decide what you need to do is leave them with a memory. Leave them with a fear. Something they can come to hate. Something they can come to revere. A myth. A legend. Something that will go down in this world's history as the most disgusting thing they will ever experience. And as they look on, they see versions of you approach them.
Wow.
Rage, you look up and see another version of you eating grass, just going at it, not even stopping.
Wait, I speed up.
Callum,
like
you take a
competition.
quick glance back before you dive through the portal, and you see a version of you just standing and smiling at this spinning guard. enjoying his torment.
Oh, yeah.
And Billy, you see you standing, cackling, laughing as magical energy jumps from your fingertips around. A happy, terrifying, horrific version of you. There is nothing worse to these people than exactly what you've just done to them. Callum, you jump through the portal. Billy, you've realised you've created their ultimate fear. You, forever. What are you going to do now?
I'm gonna, because Rage is bending over and she's like a lot taller than I am. So I'm gonna like just get on her back and then like poke her in the abs and be like, "Come on, let's go."
You're going to mount Rage and see if that's what you say. Rage, roll a d20. No,
That's
you've
not what I
nayed.
said.
You've nayed.
No.
Okay.
It was an internal nay.
It was an external nay. It happened.
Oh no. Okay, well, that's a 3.
You've rolled a 3. Billy,
Yep.
you run over, you jump onto Rage's back, you mount her, Rage goes nay and rears up, throwing you back onto the floor. You would have had grass to cushion your fall, but it's all been eaten, so you land hard on a horrible pile of quite dry mud. Rage, you didn't realise that this was going to happen and you just thrown Billy off the back. The spears are advancing on you. They're almost here now. Callum, you're just standing back in the regular room now, looking around and realising that it's quite drab and horrible and dusty and dreary. Rage, what are you going to do?
Alright, well, with the handful of grass I have, I'm going to stick it in my pocket. Just like chuck it in there. Look at Trixx and be like, okay, and then I just want to grab her by the scruff of the neck and then just go all ass out of there.
You want to grab Billy by her neck and run back through the door.
Well, she's fallen back, so then as I'm running past her, I'll just kind of like...
So she's on the floor. You're going to sprint toward the door, grab her neck as you run past and just drag her with you.
Yeah.
Roll a d20.
Don't hurt me.
Lily, I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
It's a 7.
You run, you
Love that.
sprint. As you're sprinting toward the door, you lean down, you grab Billy by the neck, and you continue running. Billy, you're being dragged along. You're on your back. You're being dragged, pulling across this beautifully cut grass. And at Rage, as you sprint through the door, you do not leave anywhere near enough room for Billy's body to come next to you. And what you effectively do is just pile drive Billy at speed straight into the side of the door. Billy, you've just been dragged back and then crashed in. To the frame of the door. Your head is pounding. You look up and all you see is a ring of guards in front of you, a silver door behind you, and then down a corridor, a slowly rotating, increasingly confused guard hanging in the air. Billy, you need to run down this corridor. Can you make it?
So Rage is taking me the whole way, right?
No, Rage has completely lost you. Rage thinks that she's still holding you because she's just making a fist and assumes that you're in it. But what she's actually just done is smashed you in to the frame of the door and ran. Callum's just chilling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oopsie.
Rage is
can
running.
I,
And Rage, when you get to the room, do you just dive into the Voidussie?
Yeah, I was so impressed by Cal's Voidussie dive, I just tried.
Roll a d. When you get to the room, Rage, roll a d20. See how successful this dive is.
The Voidussie
18.
dive.
18. You
That's a
run,
dance
you
move
jump,
if I've ever
you
heard
flip,
one.
hands together, in,
nice.
through. It's beautiful. Billy, the guards are advancing on you. Quick, describe how you get away.
So just as I've smacked against the wall and realised I'm not going anywhere any further, I'm going to just try and like use my fire as a propulsion to get me through the other side.
You want to almost jet boost yourself backwards down the remainder of the corridor.
Yeah, and hopefully burning some people on the way.
Would you like to say anything cool before you try and do this?
See ya, suckers!
Roll a d20.
13.
It's not very effective and you can't control it very well because there's quite a lot of thrust. So what you end up doing is saying, "See ya, suckers!" And what you intended to happen was just a straight boost down the corridor away back through the door. Your hands aren't quite level and you end up boosting yourself to the side and just crashing into one side of the corridor, and then you take a second to kind of steady yourself and boost again, but crash into the other side. Then you boost backwards a little bit, up onto the floor, you slow down. You're not very well controlled. It is not smooth. And effectively you boost yourself into the marble and silver room, and then you try and boost some more, but you're not going anywhere. and you realise that all you're effectively doing is slowly boosting along. You've not got any more thrust, but what you are doing, you just realise, is barbecuing a fish. Because there is a tuna on the floor in front of you that you have just flame grilled, which is sending very mixed signals to the slowly rotating guard, because it's a delicious smell, but he's very unhappy right now. You see the guards running down the corridor in front of you. Billy, are you ready to stand up and dive back through the Voidussi?
Can I just do a backwards roll through the hole?
Yeah, roll a d20.
12.
12. It's not beautiful. You roll back, you clip your leg as it goes over your head on the side of the squelch, and you realise there's a tentacle kind of wrapped around your little toe, and you have to kind of push yourself back, but eventually you flop out, covered in goo and stink, the smell of tuna dissipating, and as you see, this crack in space and time closes up. Callum, you just watched Rage dive through, you've watched Billy dive through, and you've realised that the thing you're holding is beginning to tarnish quite quickly, despite being beautiful silver.
Okay. First things first, I want to kind of like just shake the head out of it.
Ash, just ash, falls out.
Huh. Glad that wasn't us.
Rage, how are you feeling?
I'm proud of myself and very full.
And Billy, you've just cooked a lovely tuna.
And
And you've left ghost versions of yourselves in this other world. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, my nightmare just keeps getting worse, to be honest. Does Rage have any grass in her hand?
And as you're all discussing this, you hear a heavy wooden scrape as the bar behind you is removed from the door and the small scientist runs in. Oh my goodness, I heard commotion. Have you returned? Have you returned from the flippity flop?
Here.
Oh my goodness.
Ta-da!
I see. So, here's the legend. There are two versions of the world. The real world, which is obviously ours, and a horrific, disgusting, nasty, evil place, full of death and dirt and decay. How did you find it?
Actually, it wasn't like that at all. It was clean and pretty and pristine. And, oh, yeah, look at the grass! And I reach into my pocket to show him the grass that I found.
And you pull out a pile of horrible, melted, stinking mulch.
No, my grass.
Ah.
Callum, how are you feeling now you're looking around this very, very tarnished silver helmet?
I think the legends may be true, but our world may be the decaying, horrible world. Because it was really nice in there. Like, that was a 5-star Airbnb in there.
But we've sent so many volunteers in to discover things.
And it looks like they've stayed there.
What?
I can't blame them, it was nice.
So that's why they've not come back.
Yeah, you've basically sent them on a free holiday.
But they're scientists. They're doing science.
Well, not anymore. They don't work. They just sit around lounging in the gardens.
I want to go through there. The scientist walks toward and turns to look at you. So this is safe.
Well,
Don't try and kill anyone.
Yeah. If you don't try to kill anyone, it's fairly safe.
Well, I didn't try and kill anyone, yet you still stuck his head in the wall, and then you rotated the other guy with the tentacles.
Hang on. What? No, stop. Go back. You spoke to the locals. If we can keep... Okay, just give me a second. If we can keep good relations with the other side of this void, we could finally have inter-universe peace. They know you. We could use you as ambassadors to finally connect our two people.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I think that ship sailed, to be
Why?
honest.
What could you possibly have done?
We got off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's nothing that can't be fixed.
Have you
don't
ever
think it can be
kebabbed a man?
Oh, well, back in my youth, let's not discuss the things we've done before, shall we?
Yeah. Yeah, best not, actually.
Oh, these scientist parties, they do get out of hand sometimes. I've never heard it referred to as that, though, but yes.
La, 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 la.
Billy, you see that the scientist man sits down and begins to lament over his life choices, thinking that maybe there are two versions of the world, and maybe one of them is disgusting, evil, and unfair. And maybe it's this one. How are you feeling knowing that you've seen the perfect world and have been dragged back through the void to your own side?
I feel like I much prefer this world because I can get away with a lot more than I could over there.
Rage, how do you feel knowing that you've seen perfection, but it didn't have a slug hole?
It didn't have a slug hole, but the grass tasted better, so... I mean, I wouldn't mind going over there for, like, all-inclusive holiday.
All-inclusive as in you want to eat the grass.
Yeah, or you can
Excellent.
eat buffets.
You are just an angry rabbit. And Callum,
Yeah.
how do you feel knowing that you've seen perfection?
It was different. I liked it. I'd be happy to go back as some sort of like emissary to try and smooth things out. It might need a different costume.
Yeah, because what Billy created before you left was immortal, undying holograms of all of you that will be doing the horrific things forever. Rage, you will continue to eat that grass for the rest of time. Callum,
Nice.
you will watch the spinning guard and laugh. Billy, you're going to tease them with aggressive magic forever. They will come to know you as spirits, spectres, wraiths, if you will.
They're
feel like I
basically
ruined their
immortal
world.
wanted posters is basically what you've
Immortal
done.
wanted posters is a good way of putting it. So if connection is ever made to this perfect realm again, you will literally be the bogeymen of them.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Rage was like, oh no, and Billy was like, yeah. That's
No,
what we
no.
need.
Well, I didn't know that, because they're just going to be like, oh, this weird red-headed muscly chick eats your grass. Watch out, farmers. Like...
That's how legends begin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few more scientists walk into the room and realise that the main scientist you were talking to is just mumbling to himself and gently sobbing in the corner, thinking of the reality that could have been, and you are slowly led back out to the front. Just as you reach the front of the building, one of them turns around and goes, oh, we are going to pay you. Did any of you learn anything useful that we can take right now, or any samples that you brought back with you?
Yes,
Oh,
lots.
sample.
Which sample?
Mulch.
Mulch.
That's just...
It's-
The tarnished helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
What are you giving me?
Mulch.
Mulch and a tarnished
Why
helmet.
would I want mulch? We get mulch on the floor outside.
Yeah, but this was real grass.
What? No, that's not grass at all. That's just
It was
mulch.
grass. No, it was perfect grass.
Was.
I promise.
He reaches his hand out and takes a lump of horrible, sticky, gooey mulch from you.
Yeah, see?
I don't
I promise.
want this.
You can have it.
What have
I
you
brought
got?
it back.
He says, looking at you, Cal.
Well, I have got a silver helmet with bits of the previous owner inside of it.
You
And
look
I hand
down
it
and you
over.
realise that it's no longer silver. It's now just black and tarnished. And when you swipe your finger across it, you just get soot and ash. That's just burnt, charred metal.
Well, it wasn't on the other side. It was nice,
You
shiny
can't
silver.
just bring me a burnt, charred metal helmet and tell me that it magically used to be something else.
Hey, look, you know that if you throw a rock in and pull it out, it becomes a diamond. You throw a diamond in, pull it out, it becomes a rock. So, things on the other side are not the same on this side. We know that, right?
So why don't we just throw a silver helmet in of our own and pull it out and get that?
But why would you want to?
Can you give me anything I can work with here? Anything amazing? Anything different?
I'll give you information.
That's fine. Tell me one thing that you've learned.
Everything that comes out is not what it was when it went in.
You are a genius. You are so smart. We're
Thank
going to
you.
have to invent new numbers to explain how high your IQ is. That's how useful you've been. The
Brilliant.
scientist walks off somewhat annoyed.
Wait.
He turns around to give you one final glance back.
Did you ever find out why those old adventurers were all mulched together? What did they do?
Oh, that wasn't related to this at all. We just do that sometimes.
Oh, that's good to know. Oh,
Oh.
by the way, did any of you get hit by a metal flourish coming through the Voidussy by any chance?
A security guard went in to check and came out with a bit of black metal embedded in his face.
Bollocks.
We just assumed
No, that
that was
wasn't
the
us.
other side
Yeah,
being
we don't know
angry.
what that was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone
that-
threw that at us.
Right,
And we give
have
it a good
science
dodge.
to do. I'll see you later. The scientist
Okay.
turns and walks off. You step back out into the open world. The sheriff is still there, looking around. There's a new group of adventurers talking to him now, and again he's shaking his head at them. You realise that you didn't gather anything worth being paid for, although you've still got a small amount of mulch on you, Rage. And Cal, you've still got this helmet because they didn't want it. May be useful in the future.
Yeah.
Really, you don't have anything other than the faint smell of tuna. I don't know how that will be useful, but you've got it in case you ever need to use it. You adventured into the upsy-downsies. You adventured through the voidussy, into the flippity-flop. As Rage describes it, the dirty hole. And you discovered that you made it up, not me. And you discovered the perfect existence. Heaven. You discovered the Garden of Eden. And then you ran back through the voidussy, through the topsy-turvy, into your own world once again, to live out amongst the filth and the dirt and the grain. And this has been your adventure with weirder stuff. Rage, how do you feel the adventure into the voidussy went?
It went really good. We didn't kill any children, and Billy didn't burn anything down.
No Timmy's died either.
No Timmy's died.
Timmies!
No.
No
'cause
Timmies!
The security guard was called Timmy, but he was both an adult and is now blind but not dead.
Yeah, we don't care about
It's like a
him.
B story. Cal, how do you feel travelling into the perfection to then just come back?
It was definitely an adventure. I'd love to return there at some point. A good destination for holidays. I'm happy with how it went.
Billy, how do you feel visiting
I feel
heaven?
like someone should take notes on this. I know the scientists are doing it, but they're doing it in a different way. So I want to make sure at some point to like journal this experience and make sure to give it to some sort of local library.
You want to write down what you did in the voidussy and give it to a library.
Submit it anonymously.
That's probably a good idea. Your adventures will continue. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us in the chat, we are Session Zero, an episodic improv D&D group. Every single episode doesn't necessarily link to or from the previous episodes. If you've just caught us, doesn't matter if you don't know the rest. Doesn't matter if you don't catch the next. Every single episode is individual. Following the adventures of Rage the Barbarian, Callum the Unlucky Bard, and Billy the still learning what to do magician. If any of you are in the UK, you will also be able to catch us live at Insomnia Fest in Birmingham in August. And if you aren't in the UK, we should have a load of pictures and videos coming from Insomnia. Someone in the chat said, is this actually Session Zero? No, Session Zero is what we've decided to call ourselves to trick everyone into watching every episode thinking they're at the start.
Big brain.
Doesn't matter what happened before, doesn't matter what happens after. Every episode you catch of us is treated as if it is Session Zero. You get an introduction, you get a basic plot, and then you get a basic adventure. Rage, any final words before we sign off?
Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to catch up on any previous episodes, you can go and do that over on our YouTube channel. We don't have an official link yet, but it is Session Zero over on YouTube. You can see all previous 6 episodes, including the live show that we did at Insomnia 68 back in April, where we were actually called Britical Roll. So don't get put off if you see that name. That is still us.
Yes, we
Yeah,
originally
catch
called
up with
ourselves
that.
Britical Roll, but realised Matthew Mercer might come after all of us in our sleep, so we decided
Yeah.
against that for a while. Callum, any final thoughts?
Just thank you all for watching. It's been a blast as always, and I hope you can make it down to Insomnia.
Billy, any final thoughts?
Yeah, thank you again for watching, everyone. It's been really great to have you here. And if you haven't caught up on Stranger Things, then where have you been, to be honest? Because I need someone else to talk to about. So come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We've been Session Zero. We will see you next Wednesday. Wednesday? Wednesday.
Wednesday!
I'm stuck with it. I'm going to see you next Wednesday.
No!
Take
When?
care. Good night.
Bye.
God bless.
Bye.